Well, we're heading to Prince Rupert next week. We have the May long weekend, and then we took the last 4 days off in the week, which gives us 10 days. So we're going to go cruising in the Prince Rupert area. Before we go though, we want to have an oil change so that we're all fresh, and do a quick inspection of some things in the engine room. So Sunday today, the week before, is a good time to get started, because here in Kitimat, if you need a part, it might not be readily available. So that gives us enough time to get something shipped here. If not, we'll get it shipped to Prince Rupert and we'll fix it there. So the first step of this process is to get the used oil out of the engine, and here we have a reverso oil change system. It's set up to drain the oil out of our main engine right here, the generator right there, or the wing engine with that one. So this system allows us to create vacuum and suck the oil basically out of the engines, and it also allows us to turn the pump in reverse and then put oil back in. So I'm going to take 5-gallon pail out of the engine, which is about how much is in there, and then I'm going to add, I got a brand new 5-gallon pail right here, I'm going to put that back in the engine. So the first step is to warm up the oil so that it flows nicer. So we've done that. The engine's nice and warm. It's nice and cozy down here. Ran it for about 10 minutes just here at the marina, tied to the dock, and we're ready to go. So here is our drain hose. We just pull the cap off of it and put it into the bucket.
Okay.
And then turn it on. So a little bit noisy. And we turn the switch to drain. Oh, I gotta open the main valve. And then there's a valve under the engine which is also open. And here we go.
How long does this take to fill that bucket?
I can't remember. It's about a minute or two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Alright. So it sounds like the engine's empty, and when I look at this, it's slowly just leaking out and spitting, so I just leave this for another minute or so and get as much out as I can before I put the clean oil in. Okay, so I'm just going to recap this while I get rid of this jug and get the new jug in position. Take this out to the marina has an oil dump area where we can dump the oil out. We'll do that after.
Looks heavy.
Yeah.
I think I'll let you carry that out.
Yeah, you can just sit right there till we're done.
Okay.
Just want to see how much. Yeah, it's right about here. So almost a full pail came out, which tells me that we didn't burn a whole lot, which is great. I gotta dig this pail out.
We always have a pail stored.
Yep. So we have a pail at home. We'll bring it down and take it on our trip with us to Prince Rupert in case there's an emergency need to change the oil.
Okay.
So actually, to do this, you can stick that hose down in the bucket and suck it out, but then you get oil all over the hose. So what I've been doing is just popping this whole lid right off. Makes it a little easier. Okay. And I'll put the bucket in position. Right around there, I think.
Then you're just putting the tip in, so you're not getting the whole hose
Yeah,
dirty?
actually, while it's empty, I'm gonna change the filter. So in order to change the filter, I like to fill the filter up with oil. That way, when you start the engine, it's not having to fill the filter before it actually lubricates the engine. So I fill the filter up full, and I do that. I got oil, small jugs of oil stashed over here, so I'll grab one of those, and then I'll meet you guys over at the oil filter. We'll change that.
Sometimes you have to get in tight spots. You okay back there, hon?
Oh yeah. I'm just doing an inventory of what I have back here. While I'm back here.
Don't get stuck, okay?
All right, so I got some oil. I got my spare filters here, and I did a quick inventory. Way back in the corner there, there's a little area I keep my spare oil, and I got twin disc oil, which is for this gearbox back here, and I've got 3 5-liter jugs of oil for the engine, any of the engines. Plus I got a 5-gallon one, but we're going to use that, so I'll bring some more down. And I got outboard oil, I got coolant, I got gearbox for the wing engine uses a different oil, so there's another oil for that. I got oil over there for the anchor winch. So,
Holy, we got so much oil.
yeah, you have to be very careful. All oil is not created equal, so every part of the boat that uses a different type of oil, I actually write right on the jug what it's for. So, and it's good because I had some straight 40 weight oil back there, which sometimes you can use in the engine, straight 40 weight. And I thought, geez, why do I have that? And then I turned it around and it says right on there, oh, twin disc, perfect. So now I know why I have that oil there. Anyways,
Okay.
back to the project at hand. So this is the oil filter for the main engine. And I learned that if you have to use a wrench to take the oil filter off, it was put on way too tight. So I'm in the practice now of putting them on just tight enough so that they don't leak and that they're not going to back off. The instructions are right on the oil filter, so usually it's depending on the manufacturer. Usually you go until the gasket touches the base plate and then spin it 1 3/4 times, or some are 3/4 of a turn, or whatever. But I kind of got the feeling now of where the proper tightness is, so I'm able to nicely unthread that. So I got this old used piece of absorbent padding that I'm gonna catch the remainder of the oil that leaks down there with. There's a proper recycling spot here at the marina where the oily rags go, so I'll put it there. I'm just gonna grab a paper towel and we'll be right back. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Nice and loose. So that's not as tight as I normally have it. I pre-loosened it a little bit. Looks like we're not going to leak oil today, which is great.
Can I go up close and see what that
Yeah,
oil looks like?
so I'm just going to place this in our bucket upright so it doesn't tip over and make a big mess.
We got a bucket with a garbage bag ready.
Yeah, and that again goes to the recycle area.
Yeah.
Clean this area up. Now, although this particular filter, the gasket on it doesn't typically stick, but some, see, I'll show you on the new filter. So here's our new filter, and this has a gasket that it goes right over the lip, so it's inside, over top, and on the outside of the lip, so it's always visible, and it makes the connection to the flat surface right up here. Sometimes what happens when you're changing an oil filter is this gasket will stick underneath there, and then if you don't notice it, you'll put your new one on and you'll start it up, and because now there's 2 gaskets, it won't make a seal and oil shoots everywhere, makes quite a mess. And the best way to learn is to make a mistake. So once you've made that mistake, you'll always check. So I always make sure that there's no gasket material in there.
Okay.
I
Well,
like
I'm
to
gonna look
clean.
down there.
Yeah, and I can see that the original gasket is still
Stuck
on there.
there.
So
Okay.
the next step is to put some oil in here, because like I said, we want, as soon as we start the oil, we want oil pressure instantaneously. If this filter is empty, it takes a while for the oil pressure to fill the filter and then flow back into the engine. So you're running with no oil for however long that takes. Sometimes it's, 30 seconds, maybe. But anyways, I'm gonna dump some oil in here. This jug's not full because I used it last time for the same purpose. So I fill it full, and then you just wait, a few seconds, because it absorbs into the element is like a paper or cardboard type material, and it will absorb the oil. So I just wait till the level goes down, and then I top it up again. Then I'll wait for it to go down. So how much oil do you want in here? I like to get it as full as possible without making a mess. Also, you can see I've spilled a little bit on the gasket, which is perfect because we have to lubricate this gasket anyways. So I take the little bit that I've spilled, lubricate the gasket. I'm gonna put a little more oil in there because it's absorbed more. You can see it, I filled it, and it slowly goes down as it absorbs into the filter. So this process takes a little bit of time, but it's well worth your time. So I go until the gasket touches, so I'm spinning very lightly, and then it just stops right there. So I stop right there, I give it a good wipe, mainly so that my hands can grip it. And I just go until, so right about there is hand tight, and that's right where I'm gonna leave it. Next thing I do is I wipe the top of the whole filter all the way around, because I want to see if it's leaking once we start it up. So it's ready to go. A little extra. So I didn't put a whole lot of force on it, but again, after years of torquing on oil filters, I kind of know how much to do. If you aren't 100% sure, then follow the instructions right on the filter. So next thing we do is put oil in the engine, and then we'll start it up and check our levels. All right, so we've completed our filter change, and now we're going to add oil back to the engine. So here we go. So now instead of right here, instead of drain, I'm going to go fill. So I'm going to turn it to fill now. And it's adding this oil back to the engine. You can hear the pump working quite a bit harder because this oil's cold. The oil that came out was warm, so it flows better. So it takes a little longer to fill it up than it did to drain it. And I'm just keeping the, I don't know if you can see inside this jug, I'm just keeping the hose just at the surface there, so that I'm not making a mess submerging the whole hose in the oil. It is now empty. So I know I got my 5-gallon pail of oil into the engine. Just clean everything up. Put the cap back on. Put the lid back on the bucket.
We all done?
We now run the engine.
Just going upstairs here to start the boat so Derek can check for leaks. It's pretty loud in here.
I don't know how many times I've hit my head on the top of this
I probably have a permanent indent from all the times I just keep forgetting to duck.